Hi, welcome to the You Can Quit Smoking podcast, where we go over stories of success with overcoming smoking addiction. Many people have moved through this radical transformation and use smoking as an opportunity for inner growth with deeper self-awareness and a greater capacity for compassion. So many have done it, and you can quit smoking too. I'm your host, Jessie Hartnett, founder of Honor Your Heart. Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm here today with Amani. I'm so excited to talk with her about her story and just to get to know her better. So Amani, can you introduce yourself to the audience?
My name is Amani Scott. I am an entrepreneur, an upcoming motivational artist, and a future motivational speaker. I really just promote positivity in the world, how change and progress is really just based on our human experience, and how all we need to do is to move forward, to heal, to be the best version of ourselves.
Amazing. Well, I'm so happy that you're here today and talk to us about smoking. What's your story with smoking?
Oh man, smoking weed has definitely been ups and downs for me. I really did enjoy it because of the socialness, the confidence that it gave me, and just overall the lack of responsibility that I felt while smoking. Really caring about my life in general, how to be the best version of myself. So it really all started where when I was younger, actually, growing up, my dad would always say, because he was a officer, and he would always tell me and my sisters these stories of how people would smoke and how it's like really bad. And he didn't instill fear in us, but he gave us a lot of knowledge, a lot of stories of how this can end up if you do decide to one day smoke weed. So I've never felt like I wanted to try them. I was always more of a drinker, even starting to drink when I was 17, 18 years old. I never thought about weed until I went to college. Now, this is my first time away. I have the responsibility of myself living in the dorm without my parents for the first time. And one night, I think I was drinking with some friends. They asked me if I wanted to smoke. I decided to try it. And ever since then, me and weed has been locked in. It was a feeling that I didn't know I would feel like that. It made me feel more free, more alive. And it was more of a physical thing. It wasn't something that can ever get this far to be an addiction. It was just something that was more playful, more carefree, you know, what all college kids do. And then it started getting very intense when I would do it every single day. I would do it multiple times a day, and it started taking over the fact of me eating sometimes, me going to class, me reaching back out to my family, talking to them. I became very much in tune with smoking weed is my life. This is what I love. And it's kind of like when you get in that partnership for the first time and it's the giggly stage, you know, it's the honeymoon stage and people love it. It's all about us. It's all about you. But that's how I felt with weed. It felt like an attraction. Like I've been missing this my whole life. I got kicked out the first semester of my college year. I disappointed a lot of people, including myself. And so after that, I had to move back home. I had to get a job and I had to figure life out aside from gaining a skill or assets from a college degree, which now that I think about it being 29 years old, that was one of the best things that could have happened to me because I feel like I was meant to be an entrepreneur. I was meant to just live life, experience it how I am, and impact people based on me moving forward and healing myself through the process of me dealing with certain consequences. So in my early 20s, I was just always smoking. I was always hotboxing. I was always spending money. I was always going to work, coming home smoking, before work smoking, hanging out with my friends. That's what it was for me until about 25 years old. I started realizing my purpose. I started catching on to who I should be in life and what I'm destined to become. And that was the music. One of the things that I should be and who I'm destined to become. I started writing music all because I was smoking. I was very much in a creative process. I would smoke weed. I felt that something was different here. Now, of course, I was still smoking in a way where I'm just carefree. If I'm going out, we're going to the bars, we're having a night out, or I'm with my friends, my family. But I definitely knew that something was different when I would start writing. So I use that as my advantage. I kind of use it as an excuse of why smoking weed is okay. It shouldn't be a problem, even though I'm still doing it unintentionally a lot of the time. So moving forward after that, I was just doing it, spending money. It became a part of it. Up until last year, 2025, I'm 28 years old. I just got out of my 5 year relationship and I'm back at home with my mom trying to figure myself out, relearn who I am without a partnership, relearn who I can be, and now have to create a whole new plan, a whole new blueprint of what my life looks like because it was always with somebody else. So for 3 weeks straight last year, January, I was smoking heavily. I was spending about $30, $40 each and every single day for the first couple weeks, indulging. It was something that made me feel like I don't want to feel. I don't want to think about emotions. I don't want to even talk to anybody. I was very to myself. My family, even though we was in the same house, they barely saw me. I went to the gym here and there, but I was just drinking and smoking so much weed and just very much sad, but not letting myself feel that sadness. I was just covering it up because that's what weed does. That's what intoxication overall does. It makes us feel guilty, feel shameful about certain things, and then mask it up without really dealing with real life, the reality, looking at the bigger picture of this feeling don't have to be here for a long time. But since I'm covering it up, like covering up a bruise and not really dealing with it, putting on ointment, putting on a band-aid, I'm just saying it's okay, it's fine. And then going along with this same cycle every single day. One day I woke up January 17th. I just had this urgency to stop. And it's not as easy as it sounds. And when I tell this story a lot to people, a lot of people always want to know how did I get to the point of being okay with the withdrawals, accepting that you can't smoke, I can't do the same thing. How was the discomfort? And it comes down to I didn't force myself. Woke up and I felt this is going to be my life. I was motivated mostly about me being somebody that I can look at 5 years from now and say, I'm glad that she made those choices. I'm glad she made that decision for her life. And I had to put a stop to it. I always say that it was the God that I believe in and my intuition because I just obeyed. This is funny because this quote that I've been saying the last couple months when I would like post TikToks or I would speak about my story to my friends or my family or just strangers if they ask, I always say, if you know better, then you do better. But I've been thinking about it lately, and it's a better way to say it so that everybody in the world can understand it and have an open viewpoint of it. I think it's if you want to become better, then you follow the intuition to know better. Because who are we to ever really know how much better we can be? Where is the capacity? How are we figuring this thing out? I don't think everybody is aware of, okay, this is the path I should walk on. This is what I should be doing every single day so that I can form a better version of myself. Sometimes things are not just black and white. A lot of the people's journeys are more complicated than what it seems. So I think that if most humans hear, okay, if you want to become better, then you follow the intuition to know better. That comes down to the intuition, you obeying, you following this feeling that you don't know what's going to happen on the other side of faith, but you believing in yourself so much to know that the world is not out to get you and that way deep down something good is bound to come out of it. Then you increase the chances of you doing better every single day. And I think that that's how that quote should kind of go. And that's exactly what I did. I didn't want to fail myself down the line. I thought about the future me. And it wasn't something that I planned prior to me getting sober that day. I didn't think about it 3 days prior, or else I would have finished all of my weed. I would have finished smoking everything. I would have emptied out the grinder. I would have did anything possible to prepare me for it, but I didn't. I threw everything out. I threw the liquor, the drugs, the ashtray, the lighters, everything out that day. And I said, I choose this uncomfortable path. I choose what I don't know what's going to come out of this, but I'm willing to see it through because I know that in 6 months, in a year, in 2 years, I'm going to be somebody different than who I am now. I didn't want my feelings to overpower me and control me because I was doing it long enough. And that's another thing. Guilt, shame. We have to start having more grace within ourselves because that's the only way we get to the other side of knowing who we can be and really putting that best foot forward towards that person every single chance that we get. So smoking weed was a lot. And even through my process of saying, hey, I'm going to be sober, I'm really going to do this last year, I was scared because I thought about how am I going to write it? How am I going to live life and go to sleep? And how am I going to do anything? But it turns out that I had to accept that this road is going to be rocky just for a little bit. I was up 7, 8 o'clock in the morning some nights. I was out not knowing how I was going to have a good time. I would be in the studio writing and learning new ways of how to be a writer without me thinking that weed sparks and fuels something more. I had to get back into who I was. Growing up, we're all pure. That's how we start off. So there's no way that it's impossible. And that's the only thought that kept me going throughout the process of me being motivated, knowing that the future me is going to be proud. That's really the journey of smoking weed. It just came down to intuition, obeying, and knowing that I'm better than who I've been portraying, most importantly. And then, of course, that I have to do it for my family, for the people that don't believe that they can change or even know where to start. I think that if we look at ourselves more as humans, as this valuable thing, especially our temple, something that we don't want to harm, something that we want to keep healthy so much, something that we need in order to be the best that we can in the long run for however long we are meant to be in life, then we'll look at it more like, okay, I have to start sacrificing things that don't make me happy because I've been allowing myself to live through these patterns and habits that I have to start getting in control of. And when we start thinking like that, it probably doesn't get easier, but it definitely gets more willing for us to change and less resistant.
Absolutely. Well, that's an amazing story. And I love how you had that call and just like one day, like today's it. That's incredible that you were able to act on that. I know a lot of people, including myself, like will have that nudge, but we keep ignoring it. We keep shoving it. So is that something that you had before then, but maybe it hadn't put to the forefront and then it just got too loud where you couldn't ignore it anymore?
I think I did. Last year was
Yeah.
definitely the loudest, but I definitely think I've had that urge. I think when I started finding my purpose of me being this motivational person who I have to start telling my story. I've done a lot of things that wasn't right in life and a lot of consequences and accepted a lot of choices that I've made that I felt like my story has to be told. I have to be vulnerable. So I felt like I felt it prior years before that this is not okay. The person that you are that is very successful and has all of her desires in life, she doesn't do this. She's not relying on the weed. She's not relying on alcohol. She's not relying on anything but to be herself. So I think I felt it, but last year was the loudest because I was drowning in it. It was bad. And when you spending $200, $300 a week, almost all of my money that I have left when I'm going through something such as a heartbreak and a heartbreak within myself and my partnership, it's something that you kind of make a choice to either continue to dig this hole as deep as you will allow it, or you choose you now and you snap out of it. So I'm glad that I decided to snap out of it. And it's not impossible. It's not nowhere impossible to dig yourself so deep, 5, 3, 10 years, and then say, hey, I want to stop smoking weed. I want to stop smoking cigarettes, whatever your vice may be, and then do that. But I just didn't see my journey going that way. I decided to tell my story how I wanted it to be told. I had enough. I was tired of myself. And I feel like when you get to a point of being so sick of yourself, that's when you're more inclined to do something about it. But if you're okay with looking at the person in the mirror, if you're okay with saying, okay, I know I should maybe not smoke, I shouldn't be doing this, which I've had those feelings, I feel, years prior. But I was okay with my life. I was content. I was comfortable. I was dealing with everything that I thought I had to deal with until you get to a point of saying, I don't like this and I have to change it because nobody else is going to do it for me.
Yeah, that crisis can really push us forward. It's like the pain that we're in is so great that it's worth the pain or discomfort or, scary part of changing. And so I'm glad that you took that path forward.
Yes.
And I'm curious, especially about, well, your intuition first off too, because you seem so tied to it and you acted on it and you trusted it. Did you feel like your intuition developed more after quitting smoking? Did it enhance? And then also on the other side of that, the creativity piece too. I'm wondering, did you notice a change in your creativity because you were scared to lose it? Was there any kind of change after quitting?
It definitely was. To answer the first part of your question, me and my intuition, I am nothing without it. And I've had to learn that for years now because I couldn't do most of the things that I've done in this year plus while being sober without my gut feeling. See, I feel like our intuition is not only just signs and things that we should notice that is meant to help us to work in our favor. I think that my intuition is a guide for me being the most successful person that I can be. I feel like not everything is going to be perfect in life. Not everything is meant to work out how I want it to because God has other plans and sometimes it might just be a bad day. But I feel like the intuition comes with this is the choice that you are meant to make because it's going to work out in your favor whether you think that it was or it didn't in the first place. I think that is something that's meant to happen. It's following your destined fate. That's how I look at it. It's like I can go against it and I cannot trust it and I can make my own decisions because we all have free will, but I just rather tap into the spiritual aspect of believing in self because I think that my intuition is my higher up self. I think that it's my future. I think that it's me nudging me, hey, you would love to make this decision. Hey, this is going to be the best that you can do right now. So I think it's me talking to me. And that's why I'll never go against it. I might always be scared a little bit or just a little thrown off, but it's like going into work and you just have this urge to stop at this gas station instead of the one closer to your job because you just don't know what's going on. Or that feeling that you're like, maybe I shouldn't go into work today. Not because you're lazy or you're not in the mood, but something inside is telling you it's not a good day to go into work. Or it may not be worth it to go into work because you might get redirected back home because of something that's going on. It's you telling you what's best for you. And I think that it comes down to me believing in myself so much. I just don't see anything else in the world that can nudge me of being the best that I can besides myself. My parents can want the best for me. My friends, every single person in my life can support me and want the best for me, but nobody wants more for me than myself. And that's just how I'm always going to feel. So if I can't follow my own intuition and trust it, what does that say about my faith? What does that say about the future that I am growing to have?
Before we get back to the rest of the story, I want to speak to the pregnant moms listening. If you are navigating the stress of pregnancy while trying to stay smoke-free, please know you don't have to do it alone. I created the Heart Within sponsorship as a completely free, safe space for you to find emotional resources and community support. You can join us today by visiting honoryourheart.net. Now, let's get back to today's show.
And on the creative side, I've started writing so much music. I'm so much better at it. Even when it comes down to writing books, that's like another part of my endeavors or a step-by-step guide that I will have before the summer of sobriety overall on how I've done it, how I'm going to continue to do it for the rest of my life because it was just an excuse I was giving myself deep down. It was something that I wanted to hold on to. It was something that it was new to me. So the weed made me feel like I'm doing something only because I've never done it before. I was never writing music before then. And of course, I was doing it while smoking weed. So it made me feel like it's the weed. It gotta be the weed. But no, because if it was the weed, then I would have been writing when I first started smoking when I was 18 years old. I would have tapped into my passion when I was 18 years old. So yes, my creativity has been steered and shifted a little bit because now I write every single day just to know that my pen is still alive, to know that I can still do this without anything influencing me. And I love that about it. No more excuses, nothing holding me back, no distractions, nothing playing a part in me being who I'm supposed to be. It's just me tapping into my passion and being as creative as I can on a daily basis.
That's beautiful. That's really, really inspiring too, because I think a lot of us are afraid of losing something. And so it can be surprising that, like, no, it's actually better. There's so many examples. Boredom, like, oh, we turn to it for boredom, but then, life's a lot more exciting when you're not stoned. It really is. It's just amazing what can come from it. So I think you've really laid that out well. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And right there's some gains. What do you think another gain has been? What's been the biggest thing where you're like, wow, maybe it's something you didn't expect, like we talked about?
Quitting weed, it has gained me a lot. It's gained me new habits, a new plan, new structure. I have learned myself in so many different ways. I've experienced life in so many different attributes, and I've done a lot of things within this last year that I didn't know I was going to do. I've traveled a lot. I put myself very much out there, and I started to do the things that I truly wanted to do in life. I wasn't holding back anymore. But I think one of the most important things that I've gained from being sober was knowing that I'm exactly who I believe that I am. It was really the thought of me having the strength to stay committed. And it sounds so cliche. It sounds maybe easy or soft spoken, but for me, that's everything because I never thought that I would be this person at 29 years old, 28 last year, saying, I'm never going to smoke weed again. I'm never going to drink again. I'm never going to be influenced by anything ever again. But that comes down to me knowing that I trust myself enough that I can go throughout life these next 50, 60 years being somebody great. That's one of the biggest gains, my strength towards myself. And that's why I love to let other people know that in the midst of you feeling confused, in the midst of you feeling like you're falling, that you have nothing else to look forward to in life, you have to just know that there's a better version of yourself out there somewhere. And you just have to believe it because nobody else can believe that for you. Nobody else can ever pick you up, say, hey, get up. Today's going to be a great day. You got something waiting for you on the other side. So I think that my strength is unmatched towards the other version that I used to be. And that's what I've gained the most. other things that I've gained in the process was knowing that I can be much healthier. I actually replaced the weed. And that's another thing that I tell people to do because I went cold turkey and I completely stopped. But a lot of people may need to slow down or to not do it as much. And come up
Right.
with a structured plan within maybe a few months in order to get themselves really to the point of saying, okay, I'm done. I feel good. I haven't done it as much in the last 3, 4 months, whatever the case may be. But I stopped cold turkey and I had to replace it. So I started running. I started jogging. I've always worked out, but I started getting outside and doing something. I started this routine of getting up before 7 a.m. every single day to write in my journal, to drink some tea with it. I drink tea every day, probably 3, 4 cups every single day. I'm not much of a coffee person, but if you are, then you can do that as well. Don't overindulge, but replace it with something that you have to look forward to. And that's what I did. I have 3 journals now because I went through 2 journals last year. I write how I feel. I write about the bad times, the good times. I write about how I'm not perfect and how I do get feelings fluctuating ones that makes me say, oh, I don't want to smoke right now. I kind of am bored. I kind of want to feel that feeling, but then I write it out. I drink me some tea. I might go for a run or I might watch a podcast. That's another thing I replaced it with positive affirmations and just listening to other people's life as well and how they got through it. That makes me feel good. It makes me feel like, okay, this is what I needed in order to say no to the urges, to the temptation. And that's okay because I feel like a lot of people don't quit because they feel like it's not only hard, but how am I going to get through my day not doing this thing that I'm used to? They don't know what to expect. There's a
Yeah.
huge gap that's going to be in your way that says, smoke, smoke. Let's get stoned. They're going out tonight. Make sure you roll one up. Hey, they're smoking. Go take a puff. Anything. It's a huge gap, but you have to remind yourself that you have better things to look forward to. That's why you have to get into the routine, into the habit of saying, okay, I'm going to wake up early. I'm going to go for a run. I'm going to drink this tea. I'm going to breathe, write in my journal. Feel good. And now, next thing you know, when you're going to work or you're coming back home, when you replace it and you filled in all those gaps, you're too tired. You should be absolutely tired to even want to do that stuff. And that's when it comes down to the consistency. And that's what I've done. I build a consistent habit of where I'm tired when I come home because I'm doing everything that I can each and every single day, even if I'm not giving 100%, because I don't give 100% every single day. Absolutely not. I give what I have.
Hmm.
Today, I feel like I gave about 70%. I got up early. I went for a nice jog. I made great TikToks that I have to post. I went to work. I made some money, right? I felt good. And I feel like I'm inspiring people on a daily basis, whether they know it or not. I believe that I'm influencing one's life, at least one person's life a day. I read a little bit. I feel great right now. I'm speaking to you, and we are talking about real life. So after this, I'm not gonna want to smoke because I feel good internally. I got everything that I needed to get throughout the day, and
Yeah.
I think that that's what makes people scared. Like, what is going to be my satisfaction? What is going to make me as happy as me? But it's being everything that you can be. Trying, putting in
Yeah.
effort. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I think you put it out there so well, just meeting your needs, because we're so used to smoking as part of like just the routine of everything. It's like any need we have, we reach for smoking to fix.
Yes,
And then when you can actually meet those needs in a genuine way, then you don't have that empty feeling that you're trying to fill with smoking anymore. And so I
mm-hmm.
just think that's awesome that you've found so many ways to do that. And I was going to ask you about the emotional aspect, but you just spoke on it really well, just how you're able to express your emotions, deal with the hard stuff. It's not like it went away. It's something that you're still working with. And I think that's really powerful. The
Yeah.
journaling, especially.
Yes, I love to journal, and my emotions has always been one that, like I told you, I was suppressing last year a lot. I didn't want to cry. I didn't want to feel because I feel like then I would have had to accept at that moment that I need to change something in order to make my life better. And that's okay. I tell people all the time, and I think that is healthy to not feel bad for yourself, but it's okay to reflect. It's okay to sit in it just a little bit, but not stay in it and know that
Yeah.
something is going to pass. Like this time is going to pass, and that you have to do something about it. So I feel like that's what I was also running from, which is why I was smoking heavily and just doing so much last year that made me want to be sober. And when you start gaining control back from your emotions, you start saying, okay, I feel sad today. Okay, I want to cry. I don't think that I am where I'm supposed to be at in life. And a whole bunch of things can be going through your mind. It's very, very, very essential to remind yourself that these feelings are never going to stay. These feelings are always going to bypass. It's all about the process of how we deal with it. Some people may need to release those emotions and say, yell, go outside, do anything that makes yourself feel good or better about your emotions. Some people may need to sit in it and be alone. Like me, I'm that type of person. I need to sit, I need to be alone. I need to let this thing bypass, let it play in my mind over and over again, how I'm feeling, and then say, you're gone. Now it's time to do the healing. It's time to do the proper thing, not so that this feeling don't come back, but so this feeling don't take over me
Yes.
and me moving forward right now. And I think it's just very important that us as humans, men especially, because I feel like it's a society thing where men can't feel or have emotions. Men especially, if they're into addiction, you're smoking. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel like you're going through a lot. Life is heavy. Life be lifing. But you gotta know that it's time to get back out there and do what you can. You cannot be at that stop, that caution place, that rest for too long. It's time for us to get up and to continue to move and leave those emotions there. It's all about what you do in the process of it. Maybe be sad, maybe watch some movies, eat the ice cream. Do
Yeah.
what you need to do. But eventually, let's get back up because you have a better life waiting.
I think it's important to show it respect rather
Yes.
than just shove it aside. When you face it head on, then it can actually be such a relief. You don't just
Mm-hmm.
stuff it in and have to deal with it later or build it up. Like you said, let it take over. So I think that's really a healthy approach to deal with it. Because, yeah, I think that's definitely part of the weed addiction. Trying to numb out, trying not to not feel. You spoke on that
Mm-hmm.
too. So
Yes.
I'm wondering, somebody that's in it right now, they're struggling. Maybe when they quit, they have those emotions come up and they're overwhelmed. Like you said, maybe it's part of their identity. They don't know how to live without it. Maybe they don't know how to take care of themselves. They're just struggling. So what word of advice would you have to somebody? Like, where would they even start? What would be one thing that they could walk away from here and think about?
I can only say that you have to truly want to be better. Hear me out when I say this. It's easy for a lot of people to say, like I said, if you know better, do better. But you cannot force yourself to doing something that you're not ready for. So I would say if you're already in it, you have these emotions come up, you have to constantly remind yourself why you started this in the first place. The only other option you have is to fall into that hole where you go back into that same cycle to do exactly what you've been doing and you're going to feel the same emotion. So it's best for you to remind yourself, why did I start this? What was my purpose for this? And do I truly want to be this person that I'm seeking? Because I think a lot of people lie to themselves about wanting to be the best, wanting to become somebody who they're probably not ready for. And I'm not saying that we're not capable. Every single person in this world is capable of it, but ready for it is a different story. So remind yourself, you're going through tough times. You want to get back into smoking. You're just having a stressful day. It's chaotic and you think that this will relieve everything that you've been feeling and holding on. Take a deep breath. Know that one, you are not alone. Think about you tomorrow morning and how you will feel after giving up all of the progress that you have made and be honest with yourself. Because the only person that can tell you the truth, that can speak life into you, is you. So when you look into that mirror and you say, I truly do want to change, I truly do want to be this person, you repeat your affirmations, your daily positive sayings to yourself, and you let yourself know, I am worthy, I am capable, I am exactly who I believe that I am. This feeling is going to pass. I accept that it's here. It sucks for the moment, and it is definitely not easy, but then take a deep breath and you say, but I am strong enough to allow this feeling to bypass. And it's going to take a few tries for you to get through this. It's not going to be the first one. You're going to want to yell and scream. You're going to feel confused and you're going to want to run to the blunt. You're going to want to get the lighter and spark it. But please reflect on how far you've come and the goal that you set for yourself. Nobody else is here to save you. So if you're honest enough with yourself and you truly want to stay committed to the goal that you've already placed in front of you, that you've been walking on, do not go backwards unless you are ready to start over. And it is much harder to start over when you've already stopped. I believe that. So take a deep breath, remind yourself why you started it, be honest with yourself that this is a path that you truly want to continue to walk on. And then the choice is yours. We all have free will. We all can do anything that we would like. And then the last thing is just to always keep in mind of tomorrow. It's always another day. So how would you feel based on the choice that you are willing to make right now? And that's what it comes down to.
So much wisdom in there. Thank you. Inspiring words. And how can people get in touch with you? And can you tell us more about your work?
Yes. So overall, I'm a motivational person in general. Like I said, my purpose in life is to go through things that I've gone through, continue to experience life, whatever my consequences may be, and show the world how change is possible. You make progress by knowing yourself, having no shame, no guilt, by being a human and accepting that, hey, that's just a decision that I decided to make. These were the consequences, or this is where it has allowed you to go in life, but to still be able to rewrite your story whatever way you see fit. So I make motivational music, and you can find me on all platforms: Apple Music, YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud at Motivational Manii, Manii. I have out multiple songs. I have multiple projects out that will just explain my life, but also very relatable to everybody else going through things that you may want to hear another person's perspective on. And then I am on Instagram. I'm always posting positivity on there. I'm always just posting quotes or just speaking about my sobriety journey, speaking about my life in general, giving daily wisdom to anybody who needs to hear it. Feel like if anything I have to do in my 24 hours is to give back gems in some type of way, be influential. So you can follow me at it's Manii, it's ITS underscore MANII underscore on Instagram. And then on TikTok, that is really probably the top platform that I am on. Once again, whole bunch of positivity, motivational content only. And I am at Motivational Manii, MANII on TikTok. Yeah, I just speak about my real life, sobriety. I've got to be this person that I am today that I never thought I would be. And I just have this goal of being an impact so much in life to other people that they know that if I can do it, they can do it. Because we are all one, whether we believe it or not. Okay? So that's what I believe.
Well, much respect for your work. I love your TikTok videos. I found them to be really inspiring and just great nuggets of wisdom in there, things to keep you going, especially when you're in the struggle. So thank you for doing that and sharing
you're welcome.
with us today. I really appreciate you coming on, talking about your story with vulnerability and not just the good stuff, but the hard stuff you went through too. And it really matters. Every time that someone shows up and shares from their heart, it can inspire someone else. So thank you.
Yeah, definitely. That's the goal. That's always the goal, every single day.
Appreciate you.
Of course, thank you. I appreciate being on this podcast. I appreciate you giving back gems of wisdom, and I love everything that you are doing for the people as well. Because to have a space like this to allow other people to know that they are not alone, and for us who have been on your podcast to be heard and seen, it's great positivity there. You're making a real difference. So I want you to know that.
I love it, and I love connecting with awesome people like you. So thanks again.
You're welcome.
See you, everyone. I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Before we go, if you are a pregnant mom who is currently struggling with smoking, I want you to know about a completely free, supportive resource I created just for you, the Heart Within Sponsorship. This community is a safe space to navigate the stress of pregnancy while maintaining a smoke-free journey. It offers emotional resources and connects you with other moms who understand what you've been going through. You don't have to do this alone. Find out more and join this free community today at honoryourheart.net. I'll see you in the next episode.